we're looking at the area of two-dimensional figures still, but specifically we're going to look at the area of circles and semicircles. So the area of a circle is pi r squared, and remember r is your radius. Okay? So if you have your circle here, this is your r, just to remember. For a semicircle means that this is half of a circle. So we have a half pi r squared. Once again, same concept. Okay? So I'm not going to have an example based on that because we get to our examples in part 2. I think the formula is pretty straightforward with this. Just a reminder that you're using the pi button on your calculator, not 3.14. Use the actual pi button. So, area of the shape. Looking at the first one, we have a radius of 6. So we are just subbing that right into our calculator exactly how we see it. Okay, including those parentheses and with that pi button. We're rounding to the nearest tenth and then also using our labels. So we have 113.09, but if I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, it's 113.1. My unit is centimeters. We're finding area, so it's squared. On number 2, that 28 is the whole distance, which means that I have to cut that in half. So my radius is really 14. So once again, subbing this all into the calculator at once. And I will get 615.75. Again, rounding, so 615.8 inches squared. Now, number 2. Number 2, we've got a couple different things going on here. This is a semicircle, and we also have a diameter given to us. So our radius is 18 divided by 2. So the only time that we have to divide by 2 is if we have the whole length of the circle. Okay? So now I have area equals a half pi, my radius of 9, and I'm squaring that. So again, typing it all in at once. And I get 127.23, round to the nearest tenth, and put my label on. Good practice. We're still just doing the same thing here. So radius, remember, whole length divided by 2, unless you have just half the circle only shown. But in this case, we have the 30 all the way across. Sub right into our formula. This one we can see is a semicircle. .4 feet squared. Number 5, same thing here. Radius equals 35 divided by 2. This is going to get you a decimal, and that's totally fine. You can use that decimal. And we have a whole circle here, so I don't need that half. So it's pi radius squared. Again, type it in exactly how you see it and calculate. 962.1 inches squared. Number 6. So this one's an application. So an FM radio station has a signal that travels for 40-mile radius. Okay, so if this is your tower, it's going to send the signal out $40, right? So if I'm looking at this, if it's sending that signal out, that ends up being a circle. Okay, maybe not exactly like that, but you're getting the point. Okay, so your center, this is your station, and it's got a distance of 40. That circle is not very good for the center where it was, but the point is still the same, that your radius is 40. So we're just trying to figure out the area, right? So area equals pi r squared. We just are typing that in. And again, calculating exactly what the calculator tells us. So 5,026.5 miles squared. This is your area of a circle and a semicircle. Once again, please use the actual pi button and not 3.14, and we're rounding to the nearest tenth.